Hey Rockstar, I'm Amaya, and I watch, talk, and make film. Today, we're going to be talking film. Specifically, we're going to be talking my 2023 ranked. Okay, before we get into this, two things. One, I'm not a critic. And these are just my opinions, and I'm really picky with the movies I like, but I'm also very easily pleased. And this is very noticeable in when you see the rankings. Number two. Oh, no, I have three things. Okay, number two. I didn't watch a lot of new releases this year. I watched a lot of movies, but most of them weren't new releases, so I didn't get the chance to watch a lot of 2023 releases. I only watched 28, so yeah. What's the third thing? Third thing, for the first 8 out of the 28, I'm not going to talk about them, just because they're pretty low, and not a lot of information with the movie stuck with me for me to have the drive to want to talk about it. So, I'll really just say the name of the movie, where it lies in the ranking. I'll put my review there, and the director. And for the for top 20, I'll get more into depth, and then once we get to the top 10, that's when I'll really get into the nitty gritty. And yeah, let's get started. Number 28, I watched Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, directed by Kirk D'Amico. That's the ranking. Number 27, I watched Finest Kind, directed by Brian Helgeman. I hope I'm saying that right. Number 26, I watched Insidious: The Red Door, directed by Patrick Wilson. Number 25, I watched Flora and Son, directed by John Carney. Number 24, I watched The Little Mermaid, directed by Ron Marshall. Number 23, I watched Five Nights at Freddy's, directed by Emma Tammy. Number 22, I watched Renfield, directed by Chris McKay. Number 21, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, directed by James Gunn. Number 20, I watched Missing, directed by Nicholas D. Johnson and Will Merrick. I thought this was a fun watch. I really liked the first installment of this universe, so Searching. That was really good. I loved the whole it being through the screens, from a laptop screen, or a Ring camera. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool, and I really love that they kept that in this movie, in Missing, and I really liked it. And I thought Stormy did really good, and the rest of the cast did really good. I really liked the whole twists and turns in it. The plot twist at the end, I was gagged. I was gagged. Thought it was really good. So, yeah, really fun watch. It was a casual watch for me. I watched it on a weekend, and I was like, what should I watch? And then, number 19, I watched Leave the World Behind, directed by, I hope I'm saying his last name right, Sam Esmail. I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought the cast, I loved the cast. I loved their picks for the cast. And I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought the concept was so cool. I was so excited to watch this because I thought the concept was really cool. And I was like, ooh, this looks fun. Ooh, can't wait to get into this. And then I watched it, and I was kind of disappointed. There was I can't tell you what was missing. I just wish it had more just more oomph. I wish it had more. I can't say, I can't tell, I don't know what it is. I just wish I had more. Yeah. For 18, I watched Red, White, and Royal Blue, directed by Matthew Lopez. I thought this was cute. It was it was a casual watch. I watched it when I got home on a Friday, and I was like, oh, it came out, gotta watch it. So yeah, it was a cute watch. I thought the chemistry was really good. Uma Thurman, I love Uma Thurman. I thought this was a fun, cute watch. Chemistry was good. Story was cute. I didn't know they were books. I knew it was when I found out about the movie coming out, I heard that it was based off of a book. And I don't read a lot, so I didn't really know. So I can't be oh, this is accurate to the book or not. But if you think it's accurate to the book or not, awesome. I think makes it a better movie. Number 17, I watched Theater Camp, directed by Molly Gordon and Nick Lieberman. I love this. I thought this was so good. I thought it was so cute. The cinematography, like the camera quality, like I love the camera quality. The camera quality was really cool, and I really liked it. It was really fun, and it was like, I thought it was really cool. And yeah, as a theater kid, I loved this. It was so fun, and I was like, yay! It was good. Iowa Debris, I love her. She was in that. Boom. Awesome. Instantly a good movie. Number 16, I watched No Hard Feelings, directed by Gene Stupinski. Stupinski. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I am. I love the resurgence of the raunchy comedy. I thought this was really good. And I thought Andrew Feldman and Jennifer Lawrence's chemistry was really good. And I thought it was really cute, and I thought it was a fun movie, and I love Andrew Feldman. And I thought his cover of Maneater was awesome. It was so good. And I love Jennifer Lawrence. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I thought it was really good. It was really good. It was a really good movie. It was fun. I watched it really late at night. Number 15, I watched Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. I was gagged. I wasn't expecting this to be good. I didn't hear much about it. Okay. This is just me being I should have watched a trailer and stuff like that, but I like to go into movies blind, so I didn't really know much about it going into it besides what my friend in class told me to watch it. I was like, oh yeah, I want to watch it. But I wanted to watch it, but I also was just this probably isn't going to be good. I thought it was really good. I did think the killer was kind of predictable, but I thought it was really good. Addison Rae, 8. That she did so good. I was gagged. I was like, she redeemed herself. I thought it was really good. It was a fun watch. Number 14, I watched The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, directed by Francis Lawrence. I love this. I love The Hunger Games. Granted, I haven't seen them since the first time I watched them. Didn't read any of the books. Didn't even know that I didn't even know that a prequel was a thing that they had in the books. So, yeah. But I loved this. I thought it was so fun. It was it's not the best movie I've seen, but it was just a fun watch. I haven't had a fun watch in a while. I genuinely, for it being a 2-hour movie, I really enjoyed watching it. I was like, ooh, this is so fun. And I was like, ooh, yay. And the soundtrack and score was so good. Rachel Zegler did so good. I love Rachel Zegler. She's awesome, and I can't wait to see her do more work and stuff like that. Tom Blythe, 80s Girls Down. You see what he's doing to the people, and I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm watching it happen. And valid. He is sexy gorgeous. Hunter Schafer, I love Hunter Schafer, and she did so good in this. She as minor as her character was, she just it's Hunter Schafer. I love her. Number 13, I watched May December, directed by Todd Haynes. I was gagged, and going into it, I knew the story from a while back, because I did when I was I used to be really into true crime, so I watched a video on the story, and I was like, ew. I thought it was really good. I was super uncomfortable the entire time, which I think was supposed to happen to me. I was just I felt uneasy the entire time, but it was a good movie. It was so good. That's my share. This is my edges, and I was gripping them. I was like, ugh. It was really good. Cinematography was really good. I really liked the cinematography. It was just, it was just gross. I just didn't, watching it made me want to fight. And you know who I wanted to fight. It was good though. Number 12. This movie being in this spot might make the girls angry, but it has to be said. And this doesn't mean I didn't like it. It's this high in my rankings. Number 12, I watched Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. What can I say about this that hasn't already been said? I loved this. I thought it was really good. For it being a 3-hour movie, I felt like it didn't feel like a 3-hour movie. It was long, but it didn't I think just the pacing and everything didn't make it feel like it was this is 3 hours. It was good, and I really liked it. Yeah, I thought the score, oh, the score was so beautiful. Cinematography, don't even get me started on cinematography. I did wish I got to see it in IMAX. I saw it in like a really small rundown theater, but I was also like my theater experience wasn't that good, but I think that's why it ranked the way it did. But it was good. It was still good. It was still really good. I really liked it, and I think that Christopher Nolan continues to remind us that he is a genius. So yeah, keep on doing what you're doing, Christopher Nolan. Number 11, I watched The Killer. This was so good, and I loved David Fincher so much. I love David Fincher. He's one of my favorite directors, and like I didn't even know he was making this, which is like, oh, how can you be a favorite director if you don't know he's like doing other stuff? Sorry, but this was so good. I thought it was so good, and I don't really like movies like this, but it's David. I was like, oh, I'm like, it's probably not gonna like it, but it's David Fincher. I'm gonna watch it. It was so good. It was so good. It makes me want to. I believe it's it's based on a French graphic novel. It makes me want to read it because I was so good. Also, I was like, as soon as I heard the Smiths, I was like, okay, this is good. Because I love the Smiths. The Smiths is one of my favorite bands. I love them, and I love this movie, and I love David Fincher. This was so good. It was so good. God, sorry. Moving into the top 10 now. Number 10, I watched Talk to Me, directed by Raka Raka. This was really good. I really liked it. I was like just kind of like gagged. Like I don't have a lot of notes on this movie just because I was like head empty after watching it, and it was really good. And I may be a little biased because it's A24 horror, and I love A24 horror. But it was really good, and I wish Australian people were real. It was so good, nonetheless. Really good. I hated the foot scene though. And you know what I'm talking about. I hated it because I have like, maybe that's just because I have a fear of feet, so I'm just like a hater. But like, I hated that whole scene. I didn't like it. Didn't feel too hot after. Number 9, I watched Saltburn, directed by Emerald Fennell. Gagged. Cinematography, aspect ratio, cast. We all know there's the nasty, gross, sexy parts of Saltburn. And it's okay. When I my first watch, I was like, boys doing that. Wasn't feeling too hot. And then I watched it again, and I was like, okay, now I'm ready for this. And I thought it was so good. On my first watch, I thought it was really good, and I gave it a 5 stars. But again, after my other watch, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is a good movie. After like really paying attention and also knowing what happens in the end. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know, if you watched it, you know. Yeah, the cast was really good. Barry Keoghan. Is Barry Keoghan just a little freak in real life? Because why do you keep playing little freaks, Barry? I know you are. Rosamund Pike did really good, and I love Rosamund Pike. She was so good. She's so awesome and amazing and beautiful and talented and gorgeous and amazing. I love her. Jacob Elordi is really proving himself now. And like he did prove himself in Euphoria, but like now that I'm seeing him in more roles seeing him in more serious roles, it's like really like showing like, oh, like he's good. Oh, he's good. And I think we as a society can forgive him for doing the Kissing Booth movies. Number 8, I watched The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. This was so good. I'd felt, it was so good. New favorite Christmas movie unlocked. It was so good, and I loved it so much. And yeah, it was so good. And I was like, oh, it just like warmed my heart, and I felt like I related to it a lot. And I don't know how I related to it. Like, I don't know what there was, but I was just like, yeah, maybe it's because he was a loser. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's why. But I thought it was really good, and Paul Giamatti's like grandpa, so I want to give him a hug now. So I need to give Paul Giamatti a hug as soon as I see him. Also, I felt like this had like a Dead Poet Society vibe to it. Dead Poet Society is one of my favorite movies now because I recently watched it. But maybe it's just because it's like boys in school and it's all boys at the school. That's why I was like, Dead Poet Society. It's Dead Poet Society, guys. It's Lily Dead Poet Society. That's Lily Dead Poet Society. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I loved it very much. Number 7, I watched Scream 6, directed by Matt Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillette. Gillette. You were so awesome and amazing and beautiful and great and amazing and beautiful and awesome, amazing and beautiful and great. Sorry, yeah. It was so good. And I think it was a perfect end to the franchise. I thought it was a perfect end to the franchise. And, it was really good. And oh my god. I had a really good experience watching it in theaters too. I got to see it a day before it came out at like a fan event thing at Cinemark, and it was really good, and it was fun, and it was a really good experience, and I love it, and it just felt, it didn't disappoint. Like, I feel like a lot of Scream fans, including me, were worried about like, another, like, the 5th one was so good, and I think we were just worried like, how can it, like, but it felt really good, and it was good, and it didn't disappoint, and it was really satisfying. It was really satisfying, and I loved it. It was so good. I love Jenna Ortega. Okay, moving on. Number 6, I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, Justin K. Thompson, and Kemp Powers. Listen, I'm not a fan of superhero movies, action movies, or Marvel movies, but this was so good. I was gagged. Like, whoa, this was so good. And I didn't get to see the other Spider-Verse movie in theaters. I saw it like at my dad's house with my nephew, but that was so good, and it was just a fun experience watching it, and I watched it with my friends, and it was so good, it was so good, it was so good, and like, literally, that's all I can say about it, is that it's so good, and the animation and the soundtrack was, oh my god, I kicked my camera. Okay, anyway, it was just, it's so good, guys. That was such a good movie. It was so good. Number 5, I watched Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig. I didn't cry when after the movie ended. I didn't cry after the movie ended. I cried when I got home and saw my mom. I texted her when we were like on the way back. I was like, Mom, when I see you, I need to give you a hug. I gave her a hug and I cried. It was a really good movie. It was really good, and I think it was the perfect execution for a Barbie movie. Like, for them being like, we're gonna make a Barbie movie, but like, we're making a Barbie movie. A Barbie movie is being made. That was like, it was just perfect. It was so perfect. It was so good, and I think the cinematography was so good, and like the set design and everything, and like, it was so good. Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie were perfect. And the whole cast. Michael Cera was perfect, and he's always perfect, and he's perfect and beautiful and amazing and gorgeous, and Michael Cera will never disappoint me. And I love him. I love Michael Cera. Okay, moving on. Number 4, I watched Asteroid City, directed by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Wes Anderson. This may be a biased placement because Wes Anderson's my favorite director. I love him so much, but this movie was so good, and it felt like a love letter to Wes Anderson, and it was made by him, so it was just like a love letter to himself. That was so good, and I thought it was amazing, and I loved the whole like play within a play. whole thing, and I thought it was really good. I think the cast is really good, and always Wes Anderson's cinematography will never disappoint. Wes Anderson's soundtrack and score will never disappoint. It was just so perfect and amazing. And the little alien, that little guy, I loved him so much. It was so awesome and amazing and perfect. And I have a shirt. I have an Asher City shirt. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Pretty sick. So, yeah, but it was just so perfect and amazing, and I loved it. I love Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson. Moving on. Number 3, I watched Bottoms, directed by Emma Seligman. Gay. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I watched it a lot. But it was just so good. And again, raunchy comedies are back. Raunchy comedies are back, and they're here to stay. And I don't make the rules. So, yeah. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. It was hilarious. It was so good. And I liked the queer representation in the comedy without them stereotyping or like making them a token gay. And I really liked that. I think it was executed really well, and I really loved it. And yeah, felt very seen as a lesbian teen loser. So yeah, it was amazing. It was so good, and I loved it so much. Okay, number 2, I watched Priscilla, directed by Sofia Coppola. I love Sofia Coppola so much. She's like, again, one of my favorite directors. It was so good. And I think this was like the perfect. She was the perfect director to direct like a movie about Priscilla Presley, and I thought it was amazing. And I thought the casting was perfect. It was so good. I think Jacob Elordi did really good as Elvis, and like I think Jacob Elordi did really good as portraying the Elvis that Priscilla knew, and it was so good. And I really loved it. And I think Kaylee Spaney was perfect as Priscilla, and she was so good. And like even like Jacob Elordi and Kaylee Spaney's chemistry with the power imbalance was so good. And just like the score and the soundtrack was beautiful. But also like it's Sofia Coppola, so she's never gonna make a bad soundtrack or score. You know? But it was just such a beautiful movie, and I loved it so much. And that like I love Kaylee Spaney now. I've only ever seen her in Bad Times at the El Royale, but now I think I need to go through her whole filmography, and I can't wait to see what else she does. So, yeah, again, also Jacob Elordi, awesome and amazing, and, like, he's here to stay. So, yeah. Number 1, I watched Past Lives, directed by Celine Song. This movie hit me like a truck. This was so good. I got to see this in theaters with my cousin, and it was really fun. And it was just so good. And I wanted to cry. And then I did cry. It took me 3 hours to process the movie. Like, I watched it, and then I was like, okay, yay, fun movie, made me sad. And then we had to go home, and then we went home, and I was like chilling. And I literally was like eating my Chex Mix. And then I was like, and I cried, but it was so good, and I really loved it. I thought it was a great movie. Awesome directorial debut. Like, that was a beat, like, I can't wait to see what else Celine Song does, because that was a beautiful movie, and I loved it so much, and the cast is so good, and it was just, I'll cry right now. That was a beautiful movie. That was like, there's literally nothing else I can say. Like, I've been talking a lot about like certain movies. I've been talking a lot about movies and getting into really good detail about movies. But this movie being my number 1, for me to not be able to say anything about it, just like what can I say? Words cannot describe how good this movie is. And I hope it gets nominated for Best Picture, and I hope it wins Best Picture. But like, it was just so good. It was so beautiful. I think I need to end this video now. That was my 2023 ranks. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah. My next video will probably be either me going through my letterbox Wrapped or me going through my DVD collection, because now I have a DVD collection and I think it would be pretty awesome to show some of them because I think they're really cool and I really like them. And yeah, I have other videos. I have another video where I go through my film hot takes and opinions. And I also have 3 short films. I have A Love Letter to Myself, I have Masterpiece, and I have Pomegranate. I have another one coming out in the spring called Always the Artist, Never the Muse. That will be filming soon, so maybe I'll share some behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, follow my letterbox. I'll put it right there. Anyways, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bye, Rockstar.